smell that? It's the pungent stench of no elections, no politics in the air, and the delicious aroma of nothing changing. Nothing changing. In the sense that we have the same administration and the same gridlock in the House. Which I think is notable. And it's funny. I think it's funny. But the important change is, of course, Colorado. I think it's Colorado. Legalized weed. We have a lot more women in the Senate. Is that right? An openly gay elected official. Senator, Congress? I don't know. One or the other. Aiken was legitimately raped out of any chance he had of winning his election. There's good news, but mostly it's all gonna be much of the same. Really, much of the same. I think the best thing about this election, and this is really all I'm going to talk about it, and this is all I'm going to say about it, is that it forced Obama to talk about what he's been doing. It took a while for him to get up to speed on that, but it really threw a contrast on what he does as the president and what he communicates to people as his term is in progress. I think there was a lot of things that people knew were happening, or didn't know for that matter, and didn't really. I think there was a lot of things that people had no appreciation of the bigger picture, and I think Obama did a pretty good job painting that bigger picture. For the most part, obviously he won. On another note, I guess, again, this will be the last I say of it. I am a little disappointed. I think it would have been, a Mitt Romney administration would have at least been interesting to see. And we certainly would have had a lot to complain about, I think. Would it have been the best thing for the country? Probably not. But it would have been entertaining, I think. So yes, I have been horribly allergic to life, apparently, for the past several weeks. My last video, I think, was I don't know. It's been bad and rough, and I'm doing all kinds of things. And I finally switched my regular allergy medication over to the old Zyrtec stuff. And I think it's something that I have to rotate every few months. Just rotate the allergy medication. This morning I think I might be rounding the allergy corner. One of the big problems is that I go into the office and it's horrible. It gets really, really bad in the office. Yeah. So this morning I am, aside from all those things, a little bit about the allergy stuff. You'll see the connection there in a second. I'm thinking about moderation this morning. I'm thinking about how important it is to me because of my obsessive personality. And maybe the allergy, not that I would obsess over the allergy medication, but the moderation in that rotation is important to keeping it effective. And I think that my tendency towards obsessing over single projects and single points of focus, that leads to burnout. That leads to bad thing. Nothing. That leads to nothing happening. So I guess the key is moderation. And I guess my brain is free right now because Trip is a little preoccupied with school stuff, PhD stuff, so we're not on point with Busted stuff. Although I really dug his last First Thoughts, the musical one, just this noodling. That was just, I think it was a wonderful change of pace for him, but also a wonderful change of pace for me and my editing, because it was nice to not have to worry about, I actually watched the raw footage a few times, and I was like, do I cut it down and do I tighten up his noodling? And I made the decision not to, and once I made that decision, it just became about presenting the material as is, presenting the material in the most efficient manner. And that was a lovely change of pace for me. I appreciated that. I appreciate Trip very much for that. Well, if I think I'm bad, this guy's sitting here reading documents, like printed documents. Moderation. I get the part of the thought was, okay, I'm still thinking, the thought process, I should say, was that I'm still working on webcams, and I I think today I'm going to have the opportunity to hunker down and get a good chunk of that completed. And I'm thinking, I'm right back to close to being back to where I began with webcams, where I'm burnt out on it. And I was thinking about why did that happen? And actually, I was thinking, okay, well, maybe I should do Crumbines Brain for a little bit. And that kind of and then I'm thinking about caffeine too, because I desperately need to be getting back to work on that. Even Sam's going, she wants to do work on that other room, and I'm like, can't do it because caffeine's not done. The room I was shooting in. The backdrop for my movie. So I'm looking at these things, caffeine, webcams, Crumbines Brain even, Trip stuff, Chris's stuff, I guess that's going to prove to be a situation as well at some point. And I'm just thinking about how I'll obsess exclusively on those things, and then even the writing burn out, and it gets put to the side, and I don't look at it again for a year. So one of the things I've been actively trying to do is moderate myself, maybe. Focus on the horizon line, focus on the bigger picture stuff. And when I can, I guess, one of the things that I've been able to do in the process of focusing on the bigger picture stuff is self-moderate unintentionally. And now that I can see that in play, because all of a sudden I've got the work projects, I've got Trip's projects, I've got Chris's projects, and I've webcam. So I'm already got this huge variety of things that I'm doing all at once. I've got artwork, and religiously roasted and writing. This huge variety of material that I'm working on right now, that's just evenly moderated. I'm not solely focused on any one major project that I can burn myself out on. So I think that now that I can see how that moderation is in place, another example of the obsession and the burning out, just in the morning drive, right? The vlogging. That can be something that I just end up burning out on. NPR, that's what I listen to on the radio. They can burn out on that. And what I have done, and I consider myself a listener, I listen to the podcasts. There are a couple podcasts that I really, really enjoy listening to, but then I burn out on them. And I don't know how to moderate my own personal entertainment habits and Netflix. I haven't watched Netflix in a really long time. Did I burn out on it? I don't know. I don't know if it's that moderation at play, or if it's just because I've been watching Boston Legal and I have my own copies of that. But either way, moderation, finding a better balance in everything. So, I found a use for an old iPod Nano. I take it with me when I go out. I have headphones with me, so if we go somewhere and Sam wants to shop and I just need a distraction to keep the social anxiety at bay, I have that with me. And it's been helpful. It's come in handy. So I feel like I found a use. I had to justify this for myself. Apple has a really good. I don't know if they still have it. Yesterday, the prior gen iPod Touch, the 4th gen, the 64 gig size. Okay, so that's a lot of storage. That's a lot of capacity. 64 gigs refurbished was $230. It was really, really, really cheap. So I snapped it up, and I was trying to justify. I mean, I'd been thinking about it for a while because I still want the new iPod Touch and play with those and whatnot. So I'm just sitting here trying to justify the use of these things, and that's one thing that Apple seems to have under the belt that Google has not been able to figure out, and that's the podcasts. It's podcasts seem to live and breathe within the Apple ecosystem. So aside from having a music library that I can keep with me in my pocket, because I've been using the Nexus 7 and Google Play, Google Music, which is cloud-based streaming, and that's great when I'm somewhere with a Wi-Fi network and somewhere where the network reaches. But when I'm out at a store or out on the weekend with Sam, I need something that I can put in my pocket, that can disappear in my pocket. So I think that justified the expense, and I get to have the a little gag that I'm going to do with Touching Gadgets. Yeah, I've got a new script for Touching Gadgets. I've recorded that. I need to edit and shoot the footage sometime this weekend. It's going to be fun. It's going to be cool. It's going to be silly, that's for sure. Sam's actually out this weekend, so she's going to her cousin. So I get the house to myself, and I'm planning to hunker down and obsessively work on, and I know that's probably not the smart thing to do, but I need to get back into the swing of things for caffeine, so I'm going to really try to take Saturday and get a shit ton of footage recorded. And I will record the Touching Gadgets footage, and that's what I'm thinking about this morning. I'm thinking about, what can a monthly schedule be, in terms of moderation. Now I know that, when trips are on the ball, I'm gonna have projects probably 2 a week is what it should end up being. And if Chris is on the ball, I should have probably at least one a month. And so that in and of itself is pretty busy. So how do I fit in my own stuff? And I'm working on religiously. I've got 2 more chapters to read and edit, and then I've got notes for these extra conversations I want to write to round out the story and round out some characters. So I really think that by the end of the month, certainly by the end of the year, Religiously Roasted will be complete. And you know what? I know this is I don't know. I'm being very diverse in my conversation here. Emily made a comment about NaNoWriMo and some of the negative. I think it was Emily, or was it Anna? I think it was Emily. I should have responded faster. This way I would have remembered. But I said fuck NaNoWriMo. Because I have this, I have too many other things to obsess over, and that's a new thought. I'm wondering, okay, well, if I were to actually work obsessively over NaNoWriMo and get and get all of that out, how quickly would I burn out if it's exclusively solely on that? And how much would I not want to touch that project? And, you know, how long would it take for me to want to come back to that project at the end of the month? After you know, the month has ended, you know? You know, I guess there's a handful of people I know that regularly participate in it. Do they ever finish? I don't know. Do they ever go back to the project? I don't know. But I know enough about myself to see how dangerous NaNoWriMo can really be. Which is not to say the discipline of it all is really, really good. It's just that for me, I think, trying to diversify and moderate and focus on the big picture, I can waste a month writing out new content, and I've wasted this month on developing other stuff, polishing other stuff. I mean, this month you're gonna see at least Religiously Roasted videos, touching gadgets. Hopefully we'll get you know, 1 or 2 more videos, fresh motivation, you know, all this stuff. And if I was obsessively working on NaNoWriMo, all of that would come to a stop. It would have to. I mean, I can barely get through my work week without, you know, with being able to focus entirely on a single storyline. It's right now. It's a bad season for work, just trying to get way too much shit done all at once. Yeah. This wasn't a very productive vlog, I don't think. It's kind of all over the place, in a bad sort of way. But yeah, I'm thinking about moderation, and yeah, I'm thinking about Trip, and I'm wondering how that even applies to him. I know he's not watching these. He doesn't have time to watch these anymore. But I do wonder, you know, in his world, where the PhD is so incredibly demanding, where is this moderation fitting in? How does that play into his world right now? Or is it even not much of a case, much of a concern for people who don't obsess so dangerously as I might do, and some of us other people suffer. So yes, that's it. Emily, again, thoughts are with you. You really did do a great job with that video. Selective, I know you're watching. Moderation, right, buddy? Oh, dude, I went to this art festival, and I was just like, man, you should be there. You should be. And I know there's the social anxiety thing, but I mean, that is the perfect venue for your wares to create this to stock up your wares, your artwork, your found item creations, and just go to an art festival one weekend and sell the shit out of it all. That just seems so perfect for you. So if you haven't been to an art festival or looked it up online or looked at websites or whatever, check it out, and maybe just the concept, maybe there's a concept there to apply to digitally to a website. The Selective Studios art festival website, which I guess is what Etsy is and that sort of thing, but you're an eBay page. But it was pretty cool. It was pretty. I definitely was thinking of you. So there you go. I'll stop it there. Stay creative.